The Virupaksha temple, along with its market complex, holds great significance in Hindu culture. It serves as the oldest shrine and remains an active place of worship, drawing in pilgrims and tourists alike. Originally comprised of the Shiva, Pampa, and Durga temples in the 11th century, it was later expanded during the Vijayanagara era. The temple complex includes various smaller temples, a strikingly tall and regularly repainted 50-meter-high gopuram, tower, a Hindu monastery dedicated to Vidyaranya of the Advaita Vedanta tradition, a water tank known as Manmatha, a community kitchen, and other monuments. Adjacent to the temple complex is a ruined stone market that stretches over a length of 750 meters, featuring a monolithic Nandi shrine at its eastern end. The temple faces eastward, aligning the sanctums of the Shiva and Pampadevi temples with the sunrise, and it is marked by a grand gopuram at its entrance. The superstructure of the temple is a pyramidal tower adorned with artwork on each story, including sculptures with erotic motifs. Passing through the gopuram leads to a rectangular courtyard that culminates in a smaller gopuram dating back to 1510 CE. To the south of this courtyard stands a hall with 100 columns, adorned with Hindu reliefs on all four sides of each pillar. Adjacent to this public hall is a community kitchen, a characteristic feature found in other major temples in Hampi. A channel carved into the rock delivers water to the kitchen and the dining hall. Continuing beyond the small gopuram, one encounters a courtyard with a dipastamba, lamp pillar, and Nandi shrine. Moving further, the main mandapa, hall of the Shiva temple, comes into view. It consists of the original square mandapa and a rectangular extension with 16 piers, which were constructed by Krishna Devaraya. Above the mandapa, the ceiling of the open hall is painted, depicting legends of Shaivism related to the marriage of Shiva and Parvati, as well as the Vaishnavism tradition's tale of Rama and Sita. Another section portrays the legend of the love god Kama shooting an arrow at Shiva to awaken his interest in Parvati, while a fourth section showcases the procession of the Advaita Hindu scholar Vidyaranya. However, scholars believe that these ceiling paintings were renovated in the 19th century, and the original themes are unknown. Noteworthy features of the mandapa pillars are the outsized yalis, mythical creatures resembling a combination of a horse, lion, and other animals, with an armed warrior mounted atop them, a distinctive Vijayanagara characteristic. The sanctum of the temple houses a Mukha Linga, a Shiva Linga with a brass face embossed on it. Additionally, the Virupaksha temple contains smaller shrines dedicated to two aspects of Parvati, namely Pampa and Bhuvaneshwari, located to the north of the main sanctum. The Bhuvaneshwari shrine showcases Chalukyan architecture and utilizes granite instead of potstone. The temple complex is enclosed by a compound with a smaller northern gopura, which leads to the Manmatha tank and a pathway to the river. Stone reliefs related to the Ramayana can be found along this pathway. Towards the west of the tank, there are shrines representing Shaktism and Vaishnavism, such as those dedicated to Durga and Vishnu, respectively. Over the years, some of the shrines on this path have been whitewashed, starting from the 19th century when British India officer F.E.W. Robinson ordered the restoration of the Virupaksha temple complex. Whitewashing these historic monuments has since become a tradition. Despite the destruction of Hampi in 1565, the Virupaksha temple stands as the only temple that continued to be a gathering place for Hindus and remains frequented by pilgrims. The temple attracts large crowds, especially during the annual festival, which includes a chariot procession to celebrate the marriage of Virupaksha and Pampa, as well as the solemn festival of Maha Shivaratri. However, the temple has faced criticism from tourists regarding the treatment of its resident elephant, Lakshmi, who resides in a narrow alleyway behind the temple. The Krishna temple, also known as the Balakrishna temple, is situated about 1 kilometer south of the Virupaksha temple on the opposite side of Hemakuta Hill. It was constructed in 1515 CE, and this section of the Hampi complex is referred to as Krishnapura in inscriptions. Adjacent to the temple, there is a long market street commonly known as the Bazaar, which is now in ruins. In between the dilapidated stone shops, there used to be a wide road that facilitated the transportation of goods via chariots and hosted ceremonial events and festive celebrations. Towards the north of this road and at the center of the market, there is a large stepped water tank known as Pushkarani, serving as a public utility with an artistic pavilion located in its center. Next to the tank, there is a public hall, mandapa, where people could sit and gather. The temple itself faces east and has a gateway adorned with reliefs depicting all 10 avatars of Vishnu, starting with Matsya at the bottom. Inside the temple compound, there are ruins of the Krishna temple and smaller shrines dedicated to goddesses. The temple complex is structured with multiple mandapas, including an outer and an inner enclosure, and it features 2 gopuram entrances. Within the temple, a 25-bay open mandapa leads to a 9-bay enclosed mandapa. The original image of Balakrishna, baby Krishna, that resided in the sanctum is now housed in a museum in Chennai. A modern road now passes in front of the eastern gopura, connecting Kamalapuram to Hampi. The western gopura displays friezes depicting battle formations and soldiers. Located south of the Krishna temple's exterior, there are 2 adjacent shrines. One of them houses the largest monolithic Shiva Linga, while the other contains the largest monolithic Yoga Narasimha avatar of Vishnu in Hampi. The Shiva Linga, standing at 3 meters tall, is situated in a water-filled cubicle chamber and is adorned with 3 eyes on its top. South of this shrine is the sanctuary of a 7-meter-high Narasimha, the man-lion incarnation of Vishnu, seated in a yoga posture. Originally, the Narasimha monolith was accompanied by the goddess Lakshmi, but it shows significant damage and signs of attempts to burn down the shrine, with the floor stained by carbon. Efforts have been made to clean the statue and restore parts of the shrine. The Achyutaraya temple, also known as the Tiruvengalanatha temple, is located about 1 kilometer east of the Virupaksha temple and forms part of the sacred center near the Tungabhadra River. It is referred to as Achyutapura in inscriptions and was constructed in 1534 CE. It is one of the 4 largest complexes in Hampi. What sets this temple apart is its northern orientation, and it is dedicated to Vishnu. During the Vijayanagara period, the temple was traditionally approached from the river, passing through a ceremonial tank and then along the market street with a broad road. The temple had an outer gopuram that led to a courtyard with a 100-column hall and an inner gopuram that led to the Vishnu temple. On each side of every pillar in the 100-column hall, there are reliefs depicting avatars of Vishnu, as well as other deities such as Shiva, Surya, Durga. Additionally, scenes from daily life, including rishis, amorous couples, jesters, people in yoga asanas, and people in namaste poses, can be found. The hall also features emblems representing the Vijayanagara dynasty. The temple and the market street are now in ruins, but their layout suggests that it was a significant market with designated streets for chariot traffic. The Vitthala temple and market complex is located approximately 3 kilometers northeast of the Virupaksha temple, close to the banks of the Tungabhadra River. It is considered the most artistically intricate Hindu temple in Hampi and forms part of the sacred center of Vijayanagara. The exact date of construction and the builders of the complex remain unclear, but scholars generally attribute its construction to the early to mid-16th century. According to some accounts, its construction commenced during the reign of Devaraya II and continued under Krishnadevaraya, Achyutaraya, and possibly Sadasivaraya, though it was likely halted due to the city's destruction in 1565. Inscriptions found in the temple suggest that it was built by multiple sponsors, both male and female. The temple is dedicated to Vitthala, an incarnation of Krishna, also known as Vitthala. The temple complex faces east and consists of a square plan with an entrance gopuram and 2 side gopurams. The main temple stands in the center of a paved courtyard, surrounded by several subsidiary shrines, all aligned to the east. The temple is a cohesive structure within a courtyard measuring 500 by 300 feet, encircled by a triple row of pillars. It is a single-story structure with an average height of 25 feet. The temple comprises 3 distinct sections: a garbhagriha, sanctum, an ardha mandapa, transitional hall, and a maha mandapa, great hall, or sabha mandapa, assembly hall. Within the courtyard, there is a Garuda shrine in the form of a stone chariot, a well-known symbol of Hampi. Above the chariot was a tower, but it was removed in the 1940s. Positioned in front of the stone chariot is a large, square, open-pillared axial sabha mandapa, which serves as a community hall. The mandapa consists of 4 sections, 2 of which are aligned with the temple sanctum. It features 56 carved stone beams of different sizes, shapes, lengths, and surface finishes, which produce musical sounds when struck. According to local tradition, this hall was used for public music and dance celebrations. The mandapa is classified as a caracoil, a temple designed in the shape of a chariot that is carried in procession around the temple during festivals. The mandapa connects to an enclosed pradakshina patha, a circumambulatory path around the sanctum. Surrounding the axial mandapa in a clockwise direction are the Garuda shrine, the Kalyana mandapa, for wedding ceremonies, the 100-columned mandapa, the Amman shrine, and the Utyasav mandapa, festival hall. The walled enclosure of the temple covers an area of about 1.3 hectares, 3.2 acres, and is lined with colonnaded verandas along its compound walls. In the southeast corner, there is a kitchen with a roof window, clerestory. Outside the temple compound, to the east-southeast, lies a colonnaded market street that stretches for nearly 1 kilometer, now in ruins. To the north, there is another market and a south-facing shrine adorned with reliefs depicting scenes from the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, and Vaishnava saints. The northern end of the street leads to a temple dedicated to the Hindu philosopher Ramanuja. The region surrounding the Vitthala temple was known as Vitthalapura and served as a pilgrimage center centered around the Alvar tradition, housing a Vaishnava Matha monastery. It also functioned as a hub for craft production, as evidenced by inscriptions found in the area.